Good afternoon and welcome to a special edition of Fresh Ideas from Whole Foods Market. Today we're going to be talking about the Whole Planet Foundation and the Whole Foods Market Team Member Volunteer Program. We're fortunate enough to have a couple volunteers sitting right here in the studio. We have Allie Oliver, a grocery team leader from Whole Foods Market, Portland, Maine. Thank you for coming all the way from Portland, Allie.
You're welcome.
And Dena Charenson, she's our marketing specialist for the Cambridge and Somerville stores. And of course myself, Matt Keller, I am the Whole Foods Market marketing and community liaison for the Cambridge and Somerville stores as well. So on today's show, we're going to talk about really what is Whole Planet Foundation? What is the Team Member Volunteer Program and how are those two different? How are they related? And our experience, well, not my experiences, but Dena and Allie's experiences in India on the Team Member Volunteer Program. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you, Matt.
No, of course. So Dena's here, Allie's here. Thank you both for joining us today. Thank you so much, CCTV, for having us for special edition. We're usually not here in the afternoon, so we're a little brighter-eyed, really ready to go. It's definitely a little brighter in the studio today. But yeah, we're here to talk about Whole Planet Foundation. We decided to make a special edition just because we're really passionate about Whole Planet, what it does, and how you can help out. So we just wanted to, these two have firsthand experiences on how Whole Planet Foundation helps people, and we want to talk about that for a little bit. So I'll leave it to you two. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. I just want to begin by saying thank you to you, Allie, coming all the way from Portland, Maine. Allie and I had the pleasure of being on the Whole Foods Market Team Member Volunteer Program, which we'll talk about later, so we have that bond from way back. And we're really passionate about what we'll be talking about today, which is, in part, Whole Planet Foundation. So let's get going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dena. I'm very excited to be here. Dena and I traveled last October to India as part of a selection process through Whole Foods Market, the Team Member Volunteer Program. It is an application process that we went through and we were ultimately selected. And we were there for a little shy of 2 weeks, would you say? And we were able to, during that time, really embrace and absorb what India had to offer on many different levels. So I'm excited to chat about it today.
Me too. All right, well, let's launch in.
Excellent.
So we're going to start by talking about Whole Planet Foundation, which is a really special part of Whole Foods Market. At Whole Foods Market, we have many core values that help guide us in how we conduct our business. And one of the most important ones is we support our local and global communities, right, Allie?
Absolutely. So some of the produce that you find in our produce department and some of the grocery items you find on our shelves, they are all coming from international locations. So sometimes I think we take for granted that we are being able to have the opportunity to eat some of these items that are coming from India, or they're coming from Thailand, or different parts of Asia, or South America. So the privilege of having these options available to us, Whole Foods Market kind of turned around and was interested in being able to go back into those communities and offer support, opportunities to kind of promote business, promote the furthering of the communities, whether it's healthcare, childcare, and basically being able to say, hey, this is a good partnership, goodwill, good faith of we're being able to import items that are essentially exotic in many cases items, but we're able to say, hey, we're still going to support you to build a sustainable community for your families and for your surrounding loved ones.
Absolutely. And there's a real need to help around the globe. As you can see on the screen now, 15% of the world, or about 1.6 billion people, they live on less than $2 a day, which is really tough to wrap your mind around. So the Whole Planet Foundation, the mission, and the foundation was started in 2006. It's to alleviate poverty, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So part of their process with something we refer to as micro-lending, which is basically affording small, low-interest loans in developing countries where we source our products from. And, just to be clear, we are working with a lot of great micro-lending partners that are truly rooted in these communities. So ultimately we are not going into those communities as Whole Foods Market and, creating these lending situations. We are actually kind of building the resources and partnering with these really viable, vetted micro-lending institutions in these developing nations. And we're able to go back into those communities with these partnerships with the micro-lending organizations and be able to sort, hey, there's some need here. We're sourcing some wonderful spices or some coconut. What can we do to say, hey, we can do better, we can give back here.
And absolutely, and it's look at our reach. If you look at the map here, we actually are in 70 countries, helping alleviate poverty where we source these products. And there are over 7 million people who have been helped by the work of this foundation. We're also in the United States too. That's really important to acknowledge. And let's just talk a little bit, Allie, about the fact that a lot of the people who receive the loans are women. And, that's a really important point.
Absolutely. In different countries, the family dynamic is a little bit different. I would say everyone kind of, in our experience in India, women really ran the household. They really, were raising the children. They're sourcing and cooking and loving, and they have a lot on their plates, but they're also great savvy business people and have great ideas and talents that they're trying to bring to the forefront. So one thing that I think Whole Planet Foundation has kind of identified is that these women have a really unique opportunity to bring some really great perspective to the workplace and open and kind of start these businesses. And they've seen great success as a collaborative community for these women to get together as well and support each other in this process.
And absolutely, and they're also responsible mainly for the nutrition of the family and for educational decisions, and that plays into why a huge part of the loan recipients are women.
Absolutely. The average size of the first loan is about 187 US dollars. And something that Dena and I chat about at length actually is that repayment rate of 97%. That is, in the scheme of things is very shocking. So you're seeing less than, a 3%, unpayment continual situation, but ultimately that is incredible.
It is, and because people are repaying back, it means that the Whole Planet Foundation can continue, and that not only can the people who received their first loan and pay it back, but then new people can, and it makes the system flourish, which is awesome. And we've given out over 1.3 million loans, which is amazing. And as we mentioned before, we have supported over 7 million people.
One of these pictures is my absolute favorite. Dena, you want to talk a little bit about what you're experiencing here?
Sure. That picture is when we went to one of the villages in India to see Whole Planet Foundation loan recipients, and these women were standing outside a shop that they run, and they just wanted to be with us and have our picture taken together, so that was really cool.
It's really special. We touched topically on this before, but microcredit for Whole Planet Foundation works kind of uniquely. We have, like aforementioned, we have these on kind of boots on the ground lending facilities going into these communities, and they're traveling to the people, to these communities that are interested and kind of promoting good business within their communities where they see the opportunities. There's no contracts, no collateral. They're really, some of the business scope to kind of keep this moving. But the beauty of it truly is that these micro lending institutions are there to support. They're ultimately going to go back. They're checking in on a weekly, if not more, basis, and it's really an educational opportunity. They're talking in those villages with those potential business owners or business owners about, hey, this is what I see. This is what could happen. This is what you can do. And they also partner them together. Creating a collaborative community is really important, and that's something that they're definitely promoting.
Absolutely. And part of what we experienced is when we went into the villages, and Allie and I, the day that we went to visit the loan recipients, we went to different villages. And what we saw were the women meeting with their field representative from the microfinance company. And the microfinance company, Whole Foods Market, does not administer the loans. We partner with different microfinance companies around the world, and they are responsible for administering the loans. And we saw a center meeting where the women were repaying their loans, and there's, as Allie said, there's a huge sense of community, and it's a really unique process. And a lot of the women, when they first start, being interested in this, they may have a limited skill set, but the microfinance company provides mentorship and helps make business people out of these, out of the women. So.
Something really interesting too is we talked a little bit with some of these finance organizations is that in some situations, if the economy is in a downturn or if there's a lapse in the need of their product or service for these business owners, that they're seeing that some of the community, the sense of community from these women, they're kind of supporting each other in the process, meaning that they will chip in part of their earnings to keep their loans afloat, essentially. So it's a real nice sense of teamwork, of community, of they're all in it kind of together to be successful.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned too, there's a lot of different microfinance. I'm just going to show very briefly, but there's a huge list. This is just a part of some of the organizations that help do the hard work for us on the ground with all the loan recipients.
And they're really building those firsthand relationships, and it was really pretty special to see. I felt kind of like maybe a little bit of an intruder on some point, but there was that great camaraderie, that great friendship, that great trust that was there, and it was really, really special to see.
That's true. All right, so now what we're going to talk about is, and this is intertwined, but now we're going to talk about how Allie and I met through the Whole Foods Market team member volunteer program. And this is an incredible opportunity, isn't it?
Once in a lifetime, absolutely. The team member volunteer program is something that is eligible for team members who have, I think, is it 2,000 service hours? And you're in good standing to be able to apply. And there is, I think, at this point, there's quite a few developing nations that we're working with. I don't know exactly off the top of my head how many, but India being one of them, several other locations in India, Thailand, Costa Rica, and some South Africa. But there's some great locations. I had always been passionate about it, going to India my entire life. I had watched from afar photos from this program kind of come across my day-to-day via email or, different team member style communications. And I always thought, that would be really wonderful. Like, why not me, And I decided this year that I was going to apply and see what happened. And I felt very lucky and super blessed to be selected. And, I'm not sure what that process was like for you, but I feel really lucky to have met Dena. I feel as though we were probably, it was meant to happen, meant to be.
Absolutely. And I remember being thrilled when I found out that I was accepted into the program, and I saw that Allie, I looked and saw somebody from my region, and then we struck up a friendship before we went on the trip, so that really made a difference. But then Allie and I were talking today about the amazing people who were on our trip.
Absolutely. Life-changing. We were just chatting there. I think there was about 13 of us, and that's throughout the U.S. from all of our locations, as well as we had a great gent coming over and joining us from the U.K., Francesco from our Kensington location. Frankie. So we were really able to kind of create this really unique network of not only team members, but a unique network abroad of people that touch us in ways that we don't even realize, from a supplier perspective, from a farming perspective, like getting to the real roots of where we're getting all of our products. It's a really unique experience.
Absolutely. And
while we were there, we had some interesting tasks at hand, which we had a very robust schedule. We had some community service that we performed. We were working with Dreamland, which I'll let you talk a little bit about Dreamland. I know that's one of your favorite parts.
That was one of the big draws for me to apply to India, other than the reasons why Allie also wanted to be going to India. But Dreamland is a children's home in Maharashtra, home to about 65 boys. And so we spent almost a week there, getting to know them, dancing in the rain with them, celebrating Ganesh, Hindu holiday, and just basically bonding with them. We also, as part of the Whole Foods Market Team Member Volunteer Program, we went and met with a supplier partner. We'll show you a picture. We were both wearing necklaces from that experience. And then we also spent some time learning about the country's culture. I think the best thing that we can do is be good stewards in our global community, and I think something for all of us is to know our global community a little bit better. I felt like our time was really an immersion into the Indian culture from a food perspective, from a travel perspective, from seeing the sights, the sounds. We were just having a good joke on our way here today about just the travel is just so different in the way that people maneuver around the streets and the sights and the sounds and cows, just walking across the street. So these were things that, you can see in a photo, but to really smell, to really see, to really touch, to have that firsthand experience was utterly life-changing. I agree. 100%.
Absolutely. And definitely gets you outside of your comfort zone. We joked about that as well.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. So we have some pictures now from the trip, and Allie and I both were prolific photographers. I took over 2,000 pictures. I'm still going through them, and it just brings so much joy to have all the memories flood back. What we're looking at right now, this is a picture of the center meeting from the Whole Planet Foundation visit to the loan recipients. This was the village where I went, and these women had just repaid their loans, and they obviously look very proud to me in that picture.
Absolutely.
And so after we had the center meeting, we walked into the village, and this was an opportunity to see one of the women and her business, and it's a kitchen supplies. And what's really cool is I was able to bring back some of the things. This is actually a tool that you use to break up curds with yogurt. And then there were some wonderful cups that I brought back, and they make a jingle.
Totally great.
So anyway, it's a wonderful memory.
Yeah, when like Dena mentioned previously, we went to different center meetings for repayment, and for my trek, we went and visited with some women they had a real kind of diverse experience within the group. I think there was animal husbandry involved. Wow. There was a take on a version of a beauty salon. Wow. And there was also a lot of really great handwork going on with some of the cloth and weaving that was happening, yes, which was like something I'd never seen, firsthand, but also just the touch of it and the pride, the craftsmanship that was going into it is something I will always keep with me for sure. Absolutely. And I actually weave, and
cash poor representative, that's the microfinance organization. She found a weaver for us to visit, and that was a real high point for me. It was just an amazing gesture on her part. And also Barbara, who was the woman from the Miracle Foundation, who works with the children's homes in India, made that happen as well. And I'm really thankful to Barbara for that.
Dena was like a kid in a candy shop.
I was. So we're going to show you, now we're going to talk a little bit about, because this show is going by.
Yeah, totally.
We have a lot to say. But this was a really fun opportunity.
Yes, Sappho Living was one of the organizations. A lot of our regions do sell their organic clothing offerings made from organic cotton. Unfortunately, we don't have them in our region, but they have a lot of Sappho Living by default through Suminta, is that correct? They're touching a lot of our other products such as spices. I think they also deal in coconut and a lot of other food-based ingredients. But here we're touring an organic cotton field. Super interesting. They were showing us what they were using as a bug deterrent. I'll never forget. It was neem and a cow urine, I think.
Yes. on a 100-degree day, we were walking around the fields.
Totally traipsing around. But a great experience and such a warm welcome. I felt truly lucky to be there.
On the right, on the lower hand, if you see, that's me, and in the back, in my backpack is a turban, and we had this ceremony where they put necklaces around us that Allie and I are now wearing, and then they put turbans on us, and it was really quite an honor.
They made us their local version of chai. The one thing that we kind of learned during our journey is that no matter what region you're in, everyone speaks the common language of chai, but it varies a little bit from region to region. So I enjoyed that journey of trying all those different chais as well.
And you know what else we love? We have to talk about food, don't we?
We've got to talk about
it's
the
part of
food.
Whole Foods Market.
Totally. So I think Dena and I went in most excited about eating our way through India, and this was a great lunch that was prepared for us. Everything is done with such care, and just everything handcrafted, handmade, stewed. It was unbelievable.
It's even more delicious than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
And now, here are my boys. I can get emotional talking about this, but when we went to Dreamland, we each were paired with 5 boys, and then we spent time with everybody because everyone's so warm and friendly. But this was the last day when we were saying our goodbyes, but basically we all bonded tremendously, and I know that we made a difference, and they certainly made a difference to our lives.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Forever.
And look at this.
We made local news, but for good things. We were on near Dreamland. The local newspaper caught wind that we were there visiting from the U.S. and they wanted to come and photograph us doing some different tasks with them. We did some light construction items, some cooking, some celebrating, lots of dancing, and forever memorialized in a local paper.
Can you see Allie on the lower left there? And she's rocking a sari in that picture, too, I've got to say.
Dena's doing some planting over there in your center photo, so we have these as cherished memories as well.
Okay, and this is our group.
Yeah, what a motley crew.
Yes, pretty amazing people. And then part of our trip was also immersing ourselves in culture, and the Whole Foods Market Team Member Volunteer Program, I can't say enough about Jeannie Bolduc and the team who put together this trip in terms of the complete experience, in terms of, meeting our core values, but taking care of us. I felt really cared for, and very.
I also feel like it really it was fully transparent, meaning, we were able to see, we talk a lot about core values at Whole Foods, but we were really able to see and feel them firsthand. And I think from the hospitality showed to us through the team member volunteer program, the hospitality from our partnerships in India, I really feel as though, firsthand we were able to see, what kind of supplier partner we are in the greater global community.
Absolutely, well said. And then a few more pictures here. There's the Allie mentioned cows. They really do walk along the streets, and they're revered, and it's really neat to see them. They just are part of the landscape in India. And then,
Of course, the gentleman making the local version of chai. I think that was one of the very first cities we stopped at, and it's really great to see that, and smell as well.
absolutely.
Which brings us to our annual prosperity campaign that we have each March at the store level.
Okay, really important. So, every March, we work within the stores and come up with really, neat events and things. And our goal this year is to raise $3.5 million, and we would like to reach another 100,000 people.
It's important to note that the goal is to just, collect the resources and be able to get those right out into our communities abroad. All of our costs for the program for Whole Planet Foundation is absorbed by Whole Foods. So, all of that, the money that is raised is going right back into those lending opportunities with our global partners.
It is, absolutely. And I'm just looking. So, in closing, we're almost done, but basically, it's hard for me to put in words what all this means. I mean, we are making a difference, all of us. It's small change for a big change, and we lived it, we saw it, and we would like to say thank you to Whole Foods Market.
Absolutely. And
to the Whole Planet Foundation, and to all of you, our customers, who are so generous in donating.
Absolutely.
And it really makes a difference. And do you have anything else to say?
No. In closing, again, very grateful for the opportunity, and thankful for everyone that does contribute. Or if you have any questions, please feel free. You can always chat with a team member who's happy to talk a little bit more about the Whole Planet Foundation.
And once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you both so much for your time. What a great show. That was fantastic. And you can help too. There's so much time. There's always time.
Always. Just
find out at Whole Foods. All right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Cambridge.
Thank you,
we'll see you
everybody.
sooner than you